So Ren dropped this video today that really resonated with me, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because he makes some really great points in it and exposing CNN for taking his music from Hi Ren way out of context and using it as the fuel for a weird kind of hit piece against TikTok. So let's just start it and discuss it as we go here.
So a fucking incredible thing happened. CNN used my video to show that TikTok is poisoning the minds of children all over the world.
You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me.
We have a sort of like veiled reference to suicide in here.
If they would have actually listened to this full song and gotten the context, which I feel like you should if you're a massive media organization, they would know that this song is an inner battle between the critical side of your brain and the creative side of your brain, and trying to get them to have peace with each other so you can be creative without letting your critical side suppress that and limit your creativity, and accepting that critical voice and just learn to live with it.
There's just some amazing things about this video that I wanted to share with you.
CNN created this TikTok profile with the help of a 14-year-old and their parents before taking control of it.
Why? Why did you need the help of a 14-year-old and their parents?
Again, this is a massive media corporation who millions of people rely on for getting accurate news and getting an accurate representation of what's going on in the world today, which also stirs a lot of emotions, gets a lot of people to turn on each other, and it's really sad to see what an influence the media has on humans, whereas instead of us interacting with each other, we're hearing stuff from the media and letting that kind of shape who we like and who we don't like.
I mean, you could just set up a TikTok account at CNN and then put your age as 14. It would have been a fucking lot easier.
The Indiana AG alleges that teenagers can type partial search terms and the app will autocomplete with suggestions.
Yeah, like any good search engine that has ever been invented, ever. Like, I don't know why they're saying this with sinister conspiracy undertones.
It seems to be sort of giving you a guide for how to develop an eating disorder, how to restrict your eating.
That's just pictures of food.
A lot of parents are sitting there going, hold on a sec, I thought TikTok was about dance crazes.
First of all, they're not thinking that. Second of all, wait for the head turn.
Parents are sitting there going, hold on a sec, hold on a sec.
There were some really good examples in that last part about how massive media corporations use manipulative tactics to get inside people's head and scare them, and kind of treat their audience like they're a bunch of idiots that don't know how to think for themselves, that they can mold into whatever they want. And then the head turn to make it more sensational, more dramatic. It's just so obvious that this is so commercialized, so non-organic.
Again, in the comments you have, I can relate to this and I'm only in middle school. I can relate to this and I'm in high school. Okay, we've got...
Honestly, the more I watch from this, it almost seems like someone who was late to complete their homework assignment and had to rush to throw it all together that morning. But then on the other hand, I also know that they had a 14-year-old and their parents set up the TikTok account, so there was some kind of preparation. But man, it feels like they're grasping at straws with this.
Hashtag don't kill yourself.
Explaining my...
Yeah, don't. That's the key word right there. It's not glorifying it. It's saying don't do it. The comments about being able to relate to it, yeah, that's how you learn how to get over stuff like this. From personal experience, I grew up with an eating disorder. I had crazy body dysmorphia and negative self-image. And the only thing that finally got me to end it after over a decade was opening up about it, talking to other people, talking to people who could relate, and then having that support there. That helped massively, and I was finally able to let go of that and move on and just be happy with myself the way I was. That's so valuable.
Explaining my depression to my mother, a conversation.
CNN flagged more than a dozen videos we came across during our experiment to TikTok. It removed 3 of them for violating its community guidelines.
Flagged?
If you watch that whole CNN video, the sentiment is teenagers who are getting themselves TikTok accounts are then exposed to people talking about things like suicide, eating disorders, mental health problems and things like that. The ironic thing is, it looked to me like all the videos that they chose were actually resources for people trying to support people who are having suicidal thoughts or eating disorders or mental health problems. And CNN had taken all of those and gone, TikTok is making our kids want to kill themselves. It's like, all the videos have used of people who want to help that. I understand, right, that by being exposed to a lot of that sort of stuff, maybe somebody can start romanticizing it, okay? I do understand that. But I feel like CNN are just criticizing it to criticize it. They're offering no real solutions to that. And they're not acknowledging the benefits of young people being able to share and express themselves and talk to each other and relate to each other when they might feel scared to do that in like a school environment or a public setting.
I'm glad he brought that up too, playing a little bit of devil's advocate, because it's true. Like, it can be confusing, especially for younger kids. It is something that parents really need to be careful about. But that's a bit of the parents' job, to make sure that what their kids are doing online is safe for them. But on the other hand, having communities where they can talk to people who relate to them, that where they might not know anyone in real life that's going through that. I mean, that's the amazing thing about the internet, is you can connect to people who you relate to. Basically, no matter what you're into or what you're going through, you can find someone who can relate to you, which is really helpful, I think. And don't get me wrong, I think that TikTok has a lot of potential, both for good and bad. There are some real security concerns with who's getting access to kids' personal data, some real possible conflicts of interest with who's getting that information and who's getting a look into their intimate personal home lives, you know.
But CNN don't seem to be offering any solutions other than total censorship, you know, like, if we just sweep that under the rug, we don't have to think about it, so it doesn't exist.
We have so many examples from history to know that that doesn't work. I mean, the Prohibition, people found a way to get alcohol. The drug cartel exists because it's illegal. People find a way to get, even if TikTok was banned today, people would find another way to have these kinds of conversations and interactions because they need it. And people are good at finding solutions to what they want to find.
Of course it still exists, you just haven't given people the resource to be able to share about it. And look, you're trying to bubble wrap all the people who have never experienced trauma to the detriment of the people who have.
It's so true. Everyone will experience it. The only way you can learn how to deal with it in adulthood is by going through something, because everyone will. As unfortunate as that is, bubble wrapping people and not being exposed to any kind of difficulties makes you weak when you're an adult, because you haven't learned how to deal with that. I went through a lot of stuff in my late teens that made me a stronger person, and my wife as well. It's not that we wanted those things to happen to us, but you take something like that, use it as a learning experience. And a big part of being able to learn from something like that is being able to discuss it with other people who have gone through the same things and supporting each other as you get past it. That said, I think therapy or the wisdom of someone who's already gone through something like this is essential for being able to really move on from this. I don't think bubble wrapping people is the solution.
And my song in that bit of great reporting was also taken out of context. It's a song about accepting your inner critical thoughts so that you can live a more peaceful and happy life. My thing is, if you're going to criticize something, at least follow it up with something with a little bit of substance or a solution, rather than just moaning about it. And also consider the fact that if these topics are trending and being fed to people within search algorithms, it might not be causative, it might be reactionary, because we're living in an epidemic of insecurity that's caused not just by the fact that we're constantly under a microscope 24/7 in social media, but also things like over-sensationalization in the news, channels like CNN. And really, we all need to take responsibility to lift each other up, because that's the way that we're going to heal. Thank you.
The irony of the fact that part of the reason these insecurities exist is because we are under a microscope being on social media. But at the same time, social interaction with other people you can relate to is so important. So like all things in life, it's about finding that balance. But the real point of all this, like Ren said at the very end, we all need to take responsibility to lift each other up, because that's the only way we're going to heal. So when it comes down to it, why try to push other people down, say that they're wrong when they're just expressing their personal experiences, and instead try to be a force of uplifting positivity in the world. Imagine how different things would be if these big media corporations actually try to do that instead of scaring people into what they should think. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you, Ren, for being brave enough to bring this issue to light. And I'm sorry that they took your song out of context, man. That sucks. But I hope you're all safe and healthy and as much as possible, you know. That's where I'm going to wrap it up.